In this video, we'll take a detailed look at the brewing process, the step-by-step transformation of raw ingredients into finished beer. Every batch follows 8 essential stages: malting, milling, mashing, lautering, boiling, fermentation, maturation, and packaging. Before we get into those steps, let's start with the 4 main ingredients that make beer possible: barley, hops, water, and yeast. Barley provides the starches that will later become fermentable sugars for the yeast. It also contributes color, body, and malt flavor to the finished beer. Hops add balance. Their bitterness offsets malt sweetness, and they bring characteristic flavors and aromas that range from floral and herbal to citrusy or piney. Water is the largest ingredient in beer, making up 90% of the final product. Its mineral content can affect mouthfeel, flavor balance, and brewing chemistry. And finally, yeast, a living organism that consumes sugars from the malt and produces alcohol, carbonation, and flavor compounds that define each beer's character. With our ingredients ready, let's follow their journey through the brewhouse. Step 1. Malting. The brewing process begins with malting, which happens outside the brewery at a dedicated malt house. Here, raw barley is soaked in water, allowed to germinate, and then carefully dried in a kiln. This controlled process activates enzymes inside the grain that will later convert starches into sugars. The temperature and duration of kilning determine the malt's color and flavor, from pale, biscuit-like malt to dark, roasted varieties. When malt arrives at the brewery, it's ready to use in the brewing process. Step 2. Milling. The malted barley is crushed in the grain mill, breaking open the kernels to expose the starches inside while keeping the husks largely intact. The result is called grist, a mixture of coarse flour and husk material. The husks are important because they'll act as a natural filter later in the brewing process. Step 3. Mashing. The milled grain is transferred to the mash tun, where it's combined with hot water in a process called mashing. During mashing, enzymes from the malt convert starches into fermentable sugars. The temperature of the mash affects the character of the beer. Lower temperatures produce a more fermentable wort, leading to a lighter-bodied, drier beer, while higher temperatures leave more unfermentable sugars, resulting in a fuller-bodied, sweeter beer. After about an hour, we're left with a sweet, porridge-like mixture called the mash. Step 4. Lautering. Once mashing is complete, the next step is lautering. The mash tun is fitted with a false bottom that allows liquid to pass through while holding the grain in place. The sweet liquid, called wort, is filtered through the grain bed and collected below. Hot water, called sparge water, is sprayed over the top of the grain to rinse out remaining sugars. The result is a clear, sugar-rich liquid called wort. As the wort leaves the mash tun, it's transferred to the boil kettle. The spent grain is then removed and collected by local ranchers to be used as animal feed. Step 5. Boiling. After the wort is moved to the boil kettle, it's brought to a strong, rolling boil. Boiling sterilizes the wort and drives off unwanted compounds. It's also when hops are added, and the timing of those additions determines how they affect the beer. Early hop additions provide bitterness, mid-boil hop additions contribute flavor, and late hop additions enhance aroma. After the boil, the brewers create a whirlpool in the kettle. This helps separate the hops and other solids from the wort. As the whirlpool spins, the solids collect in a cone in the middle, letting the brewers drain the clear, aromatic wort from the side. Step 6. Fermentation. Before fermentation, the wort needs to be cooled to just the right temperature for the yeast. As it leaves the boil kettle, it passes through a heat exchanger, which quickly brings it down to a temperature that's perfect for the yeast. From the heat exchanger, it flows into the fermentation vessel with the yeast. The yeast consumes the sugars in the wort and produces alcohol, carbon dioxide, and flavor compounds. Fermentation temperature depends on the beer style. Ales ferment warm, around 65 to 72 degrees Fahrenheit. These warmer temperatures produce fruity and complex flavors, while lagers ferment cool, around 48 to 55 degrees, for a clean, crisp profile. Depending on the style, fermentation can take anywhere from several days to a few weeks. Step 7. Maturation. This stage allows flavors to smooth out and unwanted compounds to dissipate. The beer also clarifies naturally as yeast and proteins settle out. For lagers, this process, known as lagering, happens at cold temperatures and can last several weeks. Ales typically mature more quickly, especially hop-forward styles that are best served fresh. Step 8. Packaging. In this stage, the beer is transferred from the fermentation vessel to a bright tank. This is where we carbonate the beer. Once it's properly carbonated, the beer is ready to serve. Depending on the style, some beers are filtered before being transferred over, while others are served unfiltered to preserve flavor and body. Craft breweries have draft lines that are connected directly to the bright tanks, so the beer they pour comes straight from the source, cold, fresh, and exactly as the brewer intended. Cans and kegs are filled directly from the bright tanks, ensuring the same freshness and quality in every package that leaves the brewery. And that's the brewing process, from malt to finished beer. Each step, each vessel, and each ingredient plays a critical role in creating one of the world's greatest beverages, beer.